biglaan po at nakakagulat po, no, na reversal, pag-atras. Nag-anunsyo po si US President Donald Trump ng 90-day pause. Siyam na pong araw na pansamantalang pagtigil po ditong pagpapatupad ng kanyang Liberation Day policy. Although yung baseline tariff stays at 10%, yung select countries, I think they're like 56 or 57 of us, na mas mataas sa 10%, ay teka muna, no? Hindi mo na ipatutupad yon for 90 days. Except China! From 104% tariff, inanunsyo 125% ang taripa ng mga produkto ng China na papasok po ng US effective immediately. So, ano po ang reaksyon nyo dito? Yung nakikiisa ba kayo na ano to? Sabi kasi, hindi, all the while, strategy namin ito. Yun po ang sabi ng, White
Donald
House.
Trump.
Sir George.
Tayo naman, Ali. Buti nga, ang rated reciprocal tariff rate sa atin, di ganun kataas.
Yes.
No? Nevertheless, mataas pa rin, 17%. Buti nga, may mga ibang sektor, katulad sa semiconductor. Sa ngayon, ang alam natin, hindi naman kasama sa line item na meron tax. So, let's see whether that will still continue, no? Yung mga electronics. But generally speaking, meron din tayong apprehension. Yung mga import going to US now, not only from the Philippines, but from all over the world, talagang mahal ngayon. Kasi may mga iba, 34%, 40%, and all of this will probably make the projected or the what we call recession. Last week, ang mga economists sa America, they were saying there's a probability but not so high. But with the latest development, the probability now is quite high. They're talking about 60% or more. So with that kind of a probability that the US will go to recession, that will translate to less consumption. So yung mga exporters natin, be it garments, shoes, furniture, and agri-products, might get affected.
Oo. So Sir George, ito nga, no, buti na lang may pause, no? So parang status quo except that the 10% baseline is still in effect. Among dito po sa Pilipinas, ano yung pinakamalaking sektor po ang tatamaan? Kasi parang pause nga, but with Donald Trump, I was telling Ali earlier, parang he doesn't even have any more palabra de honor sa akin, no? Kasi he always changes his mind. Laban bawi, urong sulong, nagpipivot dito, pivot left, pivot right. So, as a businessman, how are you going to, what sector of the Philippine economy is going to be hardest hit? And then, paano tayo makakaagapay? Kasi tayo, right now, di ba, parang talagang ang dami nagrereklamo, yung mababa po talaga yung job employment, yung piso laban sa dolyar, mababa pa rin. So, inflation, although medyo bumagal, pero, yung marami pa rin po tayong mga kinakaharap na problema dito sa ating bansa. Tapos, aggravated pa itong sa Estados Unidos.
Yung sa atin, yung pinakamalaki ng sektor na export, it is really the electronic sector. Okay. Ang trade natin, no, ang trade natin with the US is about $12 billion. Okay. Sa ngayon, we exported more than what we import from the US. Pero hindi naman ganong kasing Vietnam, ang laki ng trade deficit ng Amerika compared to with Vietnam.
Yeah.
So they are given quite a high bracket on the tariff, no? With us, there are certain sectors like the wire harness. Yung wire harness natin, yung mga para sa kotse, we are very big. The country is also very much involved in that. The import rate before is not high, single digits. But I've talked to the players in this sector. They have not gotten any exact increase in tariff but they're afraid. If it increases to 17%, then it is very high compared to what they are
Paying now.
taxed right now. But having said that, yung mga kalaban natin dito sa sektor are also in the ASEAN region. Ibig sabihin, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia. And it so happened that itong reciprocate tariff natin, ang pinakamababa compared to the other 4 countries. So that translates to a comparative advantage.
Ayun.
So this is something that like my friend in this sector, sabi niya, yeah, that might give us some advantage. But ang concern niya, baka huminang negosyo dyan sa Amerika.
Yeah, oo, kasi
Magmamahal ang
magkaka-recession,
goods.
magmamahal.
Oo, inflation. Sir George, ito, no, merong balita that you're urging the government to lower yung tariffs naman ng ating US imports, yung mga goods na pumapasok sa ating bansa mula sa Estados Unidos, hinihikayat yung ating pamahalaan na babaan naman yung taripa na pinapataw natin doon. Kamukha nga nito sa anunsyo ni Trump, no, ng 90-day pause, sinasabi niya, ay nako, maraming mga bansa, they've reached out to us and to try and negotiate itong taripa na ipapataw sa kanila, except China. 'Di ba? Kaya lalong tinaasan ng taripa ng China. So, explain to us yung para maintindihan po natin itong panukala ninyo na babaan natin yung taripa na pinapataw natin dito sa mga goods coming in from the US. How is it going to do us any good? Opo.
For us, this is at the back of our heads, no? Pero hindi naman ganun ka-urgent. Ang ginawa ni President Trump sa mga ibang bansa, yung dito sa region natin, tulad ng Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, I think it's also because yung mga import nila galing sa mga ASEAN countries, alam nila karamihan investment ng China. Kasi, alam mo, yung 4 years ago, yung naging president si President Trump, the relocation of the supply chain, no? Nagsimula na. The US is telling those suppliers, we discourage you from being in China and we will have to import from China. So maraming mga negosyante nag-relocate na to Vietnam, Thailand, and these countries.
Yeah.
But they still need the goods. So those goods are still being imported from this country. That's why most of these countries that had a high tariff rate is because their trade deficit is very big. So having said that, dito naman sa atin, I'm quoting what our Secretary of Trade and Industry, Secretary Madam Chris Roque, sabi na, yeah, we're looking into this. As of now, wala pa naman immediate urgency for us to react. No? Let us see. Look at the issue at hand. With the disparity of different tariff among the ASEAN countries, let us look on what sector might give us some comparative advantage.
Let's get together. Sa NET25. Sa NET25.